I'm Lynne, and I've been suffering from arthritis forever. And maybe about 5-6 years ago, my arthritis became so bad that I had to wear braces, and I couldn't open jars in the kitchen. I couldn't, use the knife. I was very limited. And so, I'm sorry, I'm Bob Klein's wife. And so he tried to find different things for me. I've had injections, I've had anti-inflammatories. I did everything that he could think of. And when he actually heard about the AVACEN machine, he became curious and talked to the president of the company and got it for me to see if it would work, because it was getting to be a real problem not being able to use my hands at all. So that's how we found AVACEN. And his story, I'm sure you've heard, is that he had gone hiking and ran into an old patient. So we're really kind of excited to think, maybe there's something that might help. We got the machine, and Bob said, I want you to keep track of it day by day to see how you feel. And, move your hands and try your fingers and do things like that to see, and then give it a number. So I did that, and it was by the end of the first week, I was able to open jars. But it was so gradual in one sense, even though it was really fast, that I started doing things without thinking. All of a sudden I said, oh my God, I've opened this jar. I did that. Carrying things and moving things around, I was just automatically doing it. I just kind of returned to normal function. And I would say in 2 weeks, I felt like my hands were fine. Twice a day, but longer than the 15 or 20 minutes, I really started, it was so bad, I started at 30 minutes. And even today, if I do something that's really kind of stupid, like trip and, catch myself with my hands, I use it for 40 minutes, and the next day the swelling's gone. So it's been great, but just general use, 20 minutes twice a day. Oh, it's the easiest thing in the world. All you have to do is press a button, turn it on, wait till it's heated, and I put my hand in. I use a plastic glove and put it in the machine, and it seals by itself. I press another button, seals by itself, and that's it. I've learned to use my iPad with my left hand. That's a plus. And, I catch up on my reading, catch up on my emails, so there's no lost time. That's the positive part about this. I feel great. Whenever I have little bumps, because I'm pretty active, and I'm always bumping into things and doing too much, and since I don't take any anti-inflammatory, it's really great, because I go, I'm going to be sore tomorrow, because that was my pattern in the past. I just use the machine and a good night's sleep, and that's it. And feel pretty good the next day. I do a lot of walking, some hiking, and, I could do 100 blocks in New York. That's a plus. I couldn't lift anything. If it was heavy, a plate of food, I couldn't pass it unless I used two hands, and even then that was awkward because I wore braces, and so that was really difficult. So it was just like life was very hard. Just normal things were hard, and I could, because my hands were just unusable. Well, sometimes I think I don't need it, and I think it's not doing anything, because I always feel good. And so I will stop using it if I'm on a trip. And in about 5 days, I'll say, oh my God, where's my machine? Because it really does make a difference. You know, it doesn't for 4 or 5 days. You can kind of get by without noticing it too much. And all of a sudden, you know, my joints are aching. And it's hard to do simple things. And that's how I notice. Well, the thing is, what I say is, it can't hurt you. Try it. You know, I won't promise anything, but this is what it did for me. But the one thing is, it cannot hurt you. You know, and that's more than anything, and more important than anything, you know, because medications are awful. I had injections, and they were really painful. Using braces was so limiting, and they get slippery, slidey, so oftentimes I would slip when I'm driving. My hands would slip, and little things like that. So this is just the safest, I think, and the best that I could possibly find. Yeah, what I like, another thing I like about it is the no bruising, and that's really important. Also, it feels like a preventive kind of approach, because if I do something strenuous, then I'll say, you know, I think I'll go on the machine for 20 minutes, and it keeps me from getting really sore. And that's a plus.